welcome to Divine Nexus Comics YouTube channel. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and enjoy the video. This is the story of Harry Potter, the Serpent's Legacy. The subterranean air was thick with the scent of stagnant water and ancient magic as Harry Potter descended further into the forgotten catacombs beneath the Black Lake. He wore his Auror battle robes, heavy leather and enchanted mail, a stark departure from his school days. In his right hand, his wand cast a piercing white lumos that carved through the oppressive, magical darkness. Rumors had spoken of a remnant of the Founders, a relic untouched by Voldemort, hidden where even the Chamber of Secrets dared not reach. Every step Harry took echoed against damp stone walls, triggering faint, glowing green runes that pulsed in rhythm with his heartbeat. He could feel the dark pull of the place, a lingering malice that made the lightning bolt scar on his forehead prickle with cold electricity. This was no ordinary dungeon. This was a vault designed to keep something immensely powerful from ever seeing the light of day. He tightened his grip on his wand, his jaw set with determination, knowing that if dark wizards found this place first, the wizarding world would face a threat worse than the last war. At the center of a colossal, cavernous hall stood a monolithic pedestal of obsidian, rising from a pool of unnaturally still black water. Atop it rested the artifact, a jagged, emerald-encrusted crown that seemed to drink the very light from Harry's wand. The metal was dark, twisted into the shapes of writhing serpents with rubies. 4 eyes, radiating a terrible, majestic aura. Harry approached cautiously, his boots splashing softly against the shallow edge of the dark water, ripples distorting the reflections of the massive, coiled serpent statues that lined the hall. He could hear whispers in Parseltongue slipping through the cold air, slithering into his mind, promising ancient secrets and dominion over the magical realm. He knew better than to listen, yet the sheer magical gravity of the crown was undeniable. It was a masterpiece of dark enchantment, pulsing with a heartbeat of raw, unadulterated power. Harry cast several diagnostic spells, ribbons of golden light weaving around the pedestal, only to watch them instantly wither and turn to ash upon touching the artifact's wards. Knowing that leaving it here was too great a risk, Harry reached out, his hand clad in dragon hide leather, to carefully dismantle the first layer of the curse. The moment his fingertips brushed the cold, twisted metal of the crown, the entire cavern erupted into a blinding flash of sickly green light. The black water of the pool began to boil and churn violently, sending geysers of scalding, magical vapor into the air. The Parseltongue whispers escalated into a deafening, unified scream of ancient rage that shook the very foundations of the catacombs. Harry was thrown backward by a shockwave of kinetic force, skidding across the slick stone floor as he desperately threw up a protego shield. The emeralds on the crown flared like miniature suns, projecting beams of pure, toxic light that converged in the air above the pedestal. The magical resonance was so intense that the stone serpents along the walls began to crack, their stone scales shedding to reveal something spectral and terrifying taking shape in the center of the room. From the swirling vortex of green mist and boiling water, a towering figure materialized, manifesting the pure, concentrated malice of Salazar Slytherin's darkest legacy. It was the echo of Slytherin, a spectral but terrifyingly physical avatar clad in overlapping plates of dark emerald, dragon scale armor. The entity stood twice the height of a normal man, its eyes burning with a piercing, venomous yellow light from beneath a horned helm. In its gauntleted hand, it formed a massive staff of dark wood, topped with a living, hissing viper made of pure energy. The echo let out a rumbling laugh that vibrated through Harry's bones, an ancient sound filled with arrogance and disdain. Another so-called champion of the light, the entity hissed in perfect, chilling Parseltongue, pointing the living staff directly at Harry. The air grew freezing cold, frost creeping across the stone floor as the dark avatar prepared to eradicate the intruder who dared touch the serpent's crown. Harry did not hesitate. He rolled to his feet and unleashed a blistering barrage of offensive spells, crimson and golden light tearing through the cavern's gloom. Explosivo, Confringo, and Sectum Sempra roared from his wand, colliding with the Echo's armor in spectacular bursts of magical shrapnel and sparks. But the ancient avatar merely swept its staff, conjuring a massive wall of dark, viscous fluid that absorbed Harry's magic like a sponge. The entity countered with a sweeping arc of its staff, sending a crescent blade of necrotic energy slicing through the air. Harry apparated with a sharp crack, reappearing behind a ruined pillar just as the energy wave cleaved the solid stone in two, dissolving the edges into sizzling dust. The sheer destructive capability of the echo was unlike anything Harry had faced. This was magic from an era where wizards fought wars that reshaped mountains. The echo of Slytherin did not wait for Harry to regroup. Striking the butt of its staff against the ground, the entity summoned a horde of spectral, glowing green serpents from the dark water, each the size of a python. They slithered across the cavern floor at unnatural speeds, their jaws unhinged, dripping with phantom venom that burned through stone. Harry leaped from his cover, casting a widespread fiend fire variant controlled by sheer force of will, conjuring a majestic, roaring lion of flames that charged into the serpent horde. The collision of fire and phantom water created a thick, blinding steam that filled the battlefield, turning the cavern into a claustrophobic maze of shadows and heat. Harry used the cover to flank the colossal entity, firing a concentrated beam of pure kinetic energy aimed at the joints of the Avatar's armor. The blast connected, staggering the giant, but the echo backhanded the air, unleashing a shockwave of wind that hurled Harry across the room, crashing violently into a statue. Pain flared through Harry's side as he slid to the ground, his wand hand trembling, blood trickling from a cut above his eye. The echo of Slytherin loomed out of the steam, its yellow eyes locked onto the wounded hero, raising its staff for a final, lethal strike. As the dark magic gathered, threatening to extinguish him, Harry felt a deep, resonant warmth bloom within his chest, a connection to the ancient Gryffindor magic he had earned long ago. His scar began to glow not with pain, but with a brilliant, blinding white light, channeling the raw, untamed magic of a true protector. Harry pushed himself up, his eyes matching the fierce, glowing intensity of his wand tip, a golden aura erupting around his battle-worn frame. He was no longer just a wizard fighting a monster. He was the living embodiment of courage standing against ancient tyranny. The air hummed with a harmonious, powerful frequency as Harry prepared to unleash a spell that defied modern magical theory. Expecto Patronum, Harry roared, his voice echoing with a thundering, magical resonance that drowned out the hissing of the dark avatar. But instead of the familiar silver stag, the spell channeled the latent, ancient magic of the catacombs, bursting forth as a colossal, radiant phoenix made of blinding gold and silver light. The majestic creature expanded to fill the cavern, its wings radiating a searing heat that instantly vaporized the remaining spectral serpents and burned away the dark mist. The echo of Slytherin shrieked, raising its staff to unleash a torrent of black, killing magic, resulting in a monumental clash of opposing forces. The red and gold fire of Harry's magic collided with the sickly green and black darkness of the Avatar, creating a shockwave of pure energy that suspended gravity within the room. Boulders floated upwards, water hung mid-air in shimmering droplets, and the entire cavern trembled as if caught in a massive earthquake. Harry poured every ounce of his soul into the wand, stepping forward. Realizing that the Avatar was drawing its limitless power directly from the artifact, Harry shifted his aim at the last possible microsecond. He directed the overwhelming force of the radiant phoenix away from the echo and straight into the obsidian pedestal and the serpent's crown. The golden magic struck the emerald-encrusted artifact with the force of a falling star, shattering the unbreakable enchantments in a single deafening explosion of light and sound. The crown fractured into 1,000 pieces, the dark emeralds exploding into harmless dust, severing the anchor that tied the ancient entity to the mortal realm. The echo of Slytherin let out a final resonant howl of agony and fury, its dark dragon-scale armor cracking and dissolving into green ash. The massive vortex of dark magic collapsed inward, sucked into the void where the crown used to be, leaving behind only the echoing silence of the deep catacombs. The battle was over. The cavern, once oppressive and filled with malice, now felt remarkably empty and still, the dark water returning to its natural clear state. Harry slowly stood, wincing at his bruised ribs, and walked over to the shattered remains of the obsidian pedestal. Amidst the rubble lay a single mundane silver serpent, stripped of its dark magic, a mere historical trinket rather than a weapon of mass destruction. He scooped it up, placing it securely in a magically sealed pouch at his belt. It would be studied safely by the unspeakables. As he turned to leave the catacombs, his wand emitting a gentle, steady light, Harry knew that the wizarding world still held countless ancient dangers waiting in the dark. But as he began his ascent back to the surface, back to the world of the living, he also knew that he would always be ready to face them. The legacy of the founders was complex, but the light would endure. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe for more content, and until next time, stay super.